Hello, Trombone Internet. This is Chris Van Hoff, assistant to the regional manager of the International Trombone Festival. We at the festival, of course, are huge fans of the pod, and we are really excited to invite you to attend this year's 2024 International Trombone Festival at TCU in Fort Worth, Texas. Dave Begnosh is our host. We have the world premiere of a brand new double concerto for trombone and piano with the Fort Worth Symphony. We have the American Brass Quintet. We have late night jazz featuring a Latin jam session. Like, everything is happening. All the cast will be there. It's the best hang in the world, and we hope to see you there. You can register for the festival still online at www.internationaltrombonefestival.com, and it's happening the last week of May. So go register. We'll see you in Texas.
Welcome to the Trombone Retreat, podcast of the Third Coast Trombone Retreat. Today on the podcast, jazz musician and multi-instrumentalist Gunhild Carling. My name is Sebastian Vera, and I'm joined as always by Nick Schwartz. I heard of something about a Santa Kini for Halloween.
You heard wrong. There was a Santa Kini, but I cannot wear that in public due to a court order.
Okay, good.
I was Santa though. I was sultry Santa.
Oh, what's sultry Santa look like?
I wore a red tunic and red shorts and gloves. Basically Santa with no pants, essentially.
No pants Santa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I strongly advise no one to Google Santa Kini. Not quite little NSFW, I'll say. But thanks to everyone who's jumped on the Patreon train with us. Our first month's been really fun. First podcast with John Romero, just breaking down his audition on how he won the Met and Fort Worth Symphony. Trombone tip videos. We had our first after hours hang with Jim Nova and Colin Williams. You did your first listening party.
I did. Yeah. Just kind of diving into some of my favorites. Gonna go with some themes later on. Kind of like comparing maybe like two different versions of like the beginning to the final movement of Bruckner 8 or something like that, or different versions of jazz standards, or whatever I feel like.
Awesome. Your big old recording brain. I definitely want to check out a few of those. The stickers will be in the mail soon. Excited to send those out. But yeah, if you're interested in supporting the retreat and getting some perks, starting as low as $5 at patreon.com/trombone retreat. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast, subscribe. So Gunhild was an experience. This was the first kind of cold email I've sent. This is the first guest that neither of us knew personally. And I was just like, you know what? She's incredible. I've seen her videos. She's ridiculously talented. And what's going to hurt if I send her an email? And she got back to me within a couple of hours and was super excited to be on the podcast. So we were honored, and we finally found a time in her crazy touring schedule that she just started back again. She's touring with Postmodern Jukebox. But, Gunhild may be someone that's more known to non-trombonists in a way than trombonists, but she's all over YouTube. She has, over 40,000 Instagram, over 80,000 subscribers on YouTube, over 175,000 followers on Facebook. Videos have been watched tens of millions of times. You've probably seen her before. She plays a million different instruments and is just this, pure natural talent and energy who kind of grew up in this musical family and never had formal training, but she's a force.
Yeah, and it was pretty interesting. I think she's oddly enough, the first trombonist to play trombone on the podcast itself.
Yeah. Yes, she busted out. Sounds really good.
So, Sebastian, I have some bad news.
What's up?
I have a gig bag that finally bit the dust.
That's a sad time. Did you pour one out?
I poured one out for the homies.
Well, you're in luck, because if you're looking for a case for your axe, Houghton Horn steals trombone cases by Marcus Bona, Glenn Cronkite, Bags of Spain, and ProTech.
They now offer a price match guarantee to ensure that you get the best deal.
Visit houghtonhorns.com/price-match-guarantee. And also sprinkle on top the promo code RETREAT at checkout for 10% off online purchases. Some limits apply.
Enjoy this episode with Gunhild Carling.
Can you hear me, or am I just like moving around here?
We can hear you.
We're perfect.
Yeah.
I think we're good. Hi.
Hi.
How's it
Oh,
going?
Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Pleasure.
So where are you? You're in Canada right now?
I'm in Canada because I'm on tour with a great postmodern jukebox, Scott Bradley's postmodern jukebox.
Of course.
And we were in Winnipeg yesterday, and then we took a night bus. So I have been sleeping on a bus, and then I woke up. Now I have my breakfast here, Pepsi Cola.
Are you good? Are you good at this podcast brought to you by Pepsi Cola? Are you good at sleeping on buses?
Yeah, all the time.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
I love it.
You're just used to it?
No, the thing is, I fall asleep immediately, or I like it was yesterday. I was listening to music and so until 4:00.
Wow, nice and late.
Keeps you going. Oh man. That'll do it. So you just you hang out until you're so tired that you can sleep on a bus. That's a good strategy too.
Listen, I am in my backstage room, and doesn't it look great?
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
And there's a Christmas tree behind me. There, okay.
Do you think it's too early to start celebrating? Like some of my students had a Christmas party like the night after Halloween, and I just don't know how I feel about that.
No, it's way too early.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you don't know. I don't know why they have a Christmas tree here. It's November the 2nd today. Oh,
You're not ready to play Christmas music yet.
no, not yet. I mean, the pandemic recently stopped. So we are in the opening up the whole world, if possible.
Yeah, speaking of, I mean,
Possible.
Canada just opened its borders like a couple weeks ago, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, you couldn't have. I don't think you could have gotten into Canada touring a couple months ago. Probably not.
No, but I have my shows that I booked since the summer, and it was Las Vegas and Portland, Seattle, and so a tour that I'm doing on my own. And I have been very nervous and checked because it was booked in August or something. And I am very nervous and looking around how the situation goes, if they are going to close or anything.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, so how long? I mean, you seem like someone that is used to performing almost on a daily basis, it seems like. So, I mean, how long did you have to go during the pandemic without getting to do live shows?
1 year and a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
How was that for you?
That was great. Great. I started to live stream and do things like we do now. You look great today.
Thank you.
You look fantastic.
Thank you. It's my autumnal shirt.
It is very autumnal.
We're all experts at this now, right? Because we had to get better at streaming and getting the microphones and the video and understanding how to do all this, right?
Yeah.
Did you get better at it?
Yeah, same day it started. I would say was the day after lockdown, I started live stream.
Wow.
I'm married to an engineer.
Oh, that helps.
It helps.
So for some of our guests that may not know about you for any reason, if they don't know you, man, you're a force. I mean, watching these videos. So to talk about you briefly, and correct me if I'm wrong on any of these, most importantly, you play the trombone, the trumpet, sometimes two at a time, piano, harp, harmonica, flute, oboe, bagpipes, crumhorn, recorder, you sing, and you dance.
Mm.
Did I leave anything out?
Yeah. I've been playing medieval music and Renaissance music, and there are a lot of instruments that mainly people never heard about. They've heard about hurdy-gurdy, but I played sakabot and buzzina.
Mm-hmm.
What is that called now? It's called dulcian, but I'm not. I don't know what that is called in English. It's like
dulcimer?
No, dulcian.
No, dulcian.
Dulcian.
Yeah. Lot of stuff like this. Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Different kinds of harp. So diatonic harp. And I play chromatic harp and arpadopia, which is another technique. So a lot of things.
Oh
And
my
then
gosh.
with
I
I'm
mean,
interested in ethno music, so I have tried a lot of ethno instruments as well. But the thing is, it's all related to each other somewhere, because everything it's about to create a beautiful sound or something, create something.
Do you play your country's own famous instrument, the nickel harp?
I have tried. I'm not good at it. I don't do on stage.
Yeah, it's a good.
I'm not into violin that
Yeah,
much. Yeah, bow, and you have
the
keys
buttons. Yeah,
there. I love it.
it's a beautiful instrument.
Yeah, I play it, but fiddles, and so I have to try. But my thing is like horns, brass, reeds, and of course piano related instrument, and harp.
it makes me kind of think of, people that are like polyglots, for example, people that speak a lot of languages, talk about how once you learn more than like 2 languages, 3 languages, once you start learning more, it becomes easier and easier because you learn all the lessons from all the languages you've already learned. So is it kind of like that? Once you've learned a certain amount of instruments, like learning a new instrument becomes just that much easier?
Yeah. So one thing is the technique to nail it. For example, any instrument, the technique first. But then you must have a sound. You must say something. So, for example, if you take a new instrument, you must figure out, how can I give music to somebody else through this instrument, and how can this person fall in love with the music? So that is what the whole thing is about: create a feeling and a sound, and that is a long life. I mean, like, we can say hello, yes, and so, but then when we talk, we have to say something meaningful. So that is what it is. Like, the problem is not to play the instrument; it's to say something that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. That's such a beautiful, natural way to approach it. I love that. So people come on this podcast all the time, and and we're musicians, and we talk to musicians all the time, and you hear people say, "Oh, I come from a musical family." Like you hear that all the time, But like, reading about your history and your story and your past from your family, like, you're putting that on a whole other level. When you come from a musical family, like, you come from, like, every single person in your family plays multiple instruments, it seems like, and is performing, and now your children are performing. Take us back to like when all this started. So, I mean, did you just remember playing music from as young as you can remember?
Yeah, I am. From my mother's side, there are musicians like hundreds of years back, and they have been playing at opera and composing music and so. She herself is not, she's not a star. She's just playing. But my father, he was a star, but he was a jazz musician. Hans, exactly. And at that time, like many decades back, so jazz was a revolution against the thinking with classical music and march, how everything, how you think, how you stand, and so it was something new. So I have been taught that way. That is where all the medieval music also come in, because jazz musicians back then, it's different now. We are all together in one nowadays, but back in the days, it was like medieval music and Renaissance music, jazz, blues. They had a connection. And then there was classical music and marching, like all this and all other kinds of established culture. We didn't do that. We only did jazz music, folk music, medieval music. So everything was about creating a sound that is personal, so you can hear, oh, that is that person who plays. So your tone shall be personal. Your phrasing shall be personal, but jazz. So it's syncopated and blue and so on. So as I play old style of jazz, we all did. Hey, I lost the topic. My family. So this was the thing.
I love it.
So here is the thing. I have 3 siblings, and they all play like tons of instruments, And my father was a very different person. He didn't take care about time or place. He was playing nonstop. So from the second I woke up, he was sitting by the piano. He wanted to invent new romanticism, like new things, new chords that never had been heard before, new progressions. So he was working on that nonstop till the second he died. Like, okay, so if that leads to that, and and then he was playing all day, didn't do anything else. So I could always join and play, and everyone in the family, they were almost playing nonstop. So that is why I had so much training live with a band.
It seems like he never forced it on you. He just, like, if you want to play, you can join in with what I'm doing. Is that kind of thing? You just wanted to kind of bond with your dad?
Yeah, no, the thing is, I have a little of this in myself. We see music more as a religion. So it's not a question. It's like you believe in it and you're in it. And so music is my religion, say. I believe in it and the melodies. And so that was the reason. I never thought that there was an alternative. I think music is the highest level of living, kind of that. And I think I have this thinking. So because I play all the time, he had a big convincing power, because he was never talking about himself or of him and you or me. It was all about, okay, listen to this sound. Have you heard this? Okay, can you create that or something like that? So it was always about something else, like, wow, this is so mystic and this is so fantastic. And have you heard this progression here? And so.
So, I mean, we see these, I encourage people, if they haven't seen yet, these videos of you playing the trombone. I mean, how young are you in some of these YouTube videos that are posted of you playing with your family?
I started at 7 with trombone.
And some videos you're barely holding it up. You're so young. You're barely holding the trombone up, and you're just playing these with this beautiful sound, so musical. I imagine it just felt so natural. Was it just something that, like, I'm curious, it's such a family thing, and it seems like you're very close with your family. Was it ever something that, normal teenagers don't want to be around their parents, sometimes. So, like, did you ever feel like it was a burden to, like, oh, I have to be in the family band or anything? Always loved it.
It's my whole life. Music. My family, I have been playing all the time all my life with other musicians as well. So since I was 7, I feel like that I have a connection to the music, and the instrument is just like the
vessel.
Just the plug.
Yeah.
Connection. So I just played, and I wanted to sound, because I was listening to jazz at that time. So I just wanted to, sound like this and be in the music.
Trombone was the first instrument?
No, drums, and then recorder. There is one little addicting hook about the music. You come out, you have a lot of fun, you meet people. And that, compared to being home, doing homework, sit alone in your room. So music will always be connected with seeing others, being out, spread joy, be where people dance and have fun. And so, I liked that when I was a kid, but I very much liked it when I was a teenager. So it was the connection for me to come out.
So what drew you to the trombone as what made you connect with it to use as a vessel for this self-expression?
Okay, so this is how I remember it, because I was 7. So I don't know if I remember. I just took it up there, took a note. Oh, this is my instrument.
Yeah.
So it's like when you see somebody that you fall in love. It's like, yeah, that's it. Easy.
Love at first sight with the trombone.
Exactly.
I mean, besides your dad being a big influence on you, were there any particular trombone players that influenced you growing up?
My father's lifestyle has inspired me. Like, he has believe and always playing music and always be in the music. But as a musician, I only listen to the classics, like Jack Teagarden, Kid Ory, J.C. Higginbottom. I listen to a lot.
So nothing. That's just the era that draws you in, I suppose. The 20s and 30s.
No, the thing is, I think that we, maybe not musically, but aesthetically today, we cannot compare ourselves to this era. This era was an aesthetic peak. So I listen to the masters, like I listen to the greatest. I listen to Django Reinhardt, I listen to Bix, Louis Armstrong, I listen to the greats. And also today it's even easier to listen to them because they were the best at their time. Today we have computer music and singers, which means that if you want to play violin music. If you want to play trombone music, play jazz or marching music. But I'm not into that. But I just talk for myself here.
So if I could put you in a time machine for a day, and you could go back to this era that you love, where would you go? Who would you listen to?
I love the eras that we are in now, the best to live in. I will go back to 1927. The best songs, in my opinion, are written in 27. It's like old Cole Porter songs, Fats Waller songs. And then there came, and I'm not sure about the exact year, but there came it was very free songwriting at that time. So it was like pouring out songs nonstop, great melodies. And it was before the Wall Street crash, before the Depression. So people have an enormous belief in this new era with a car and aeroplane and so.
Lots of optimism.
Yeah, optimism and happiness, and they could live forever and so. And the music is a mirror of that belief, the pre-depression. Yeah.
I like that.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that. And
1927. I like that. Very specific. I'm going to have to dive into 1927 now.
No, the thing is, I met a fantastic musician who told me this. Okay, all the best songs are written in 27. And then I went down and checked the Big Spiderbeck, the songs that the most magic recordings, like with magic sound. Yeah, 26, 25, 24. It's too early. It's not technical enough. So there is like the new technical era combined with the songwriting and the free world. Like it was not copyright and problems at that time.
That'd be cool if you made an album of just like only 1927 music or something. That'd be really cool. It'd be an easy album title.
Oh, yes.
See, have you seen the movie Midnight in Paris?
Yeah.
With Owen Wilson Owen Wilson.
Woody Allen.
It's a Woody Allen. Yeah. It's the same idea. Like he wants to go back to like 1920s, 1930s Paris. And then he meets a woman there that says, "Oh, Paris is dead by now. Like I want to go back to like the 1880s and see the Bohemians and all this stuff." And it's the same sort of idea. I wonder if you went back to 1927, where they would go back in time to, just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I've also been curious of that. I have actually. So the thing is, my father, he was interviewing a lot of old people, and he actually met someone who had interviewed old people in his return. So people that lived on the 19th century, they said those people had a way more soul, bigger soul, before the radio, before a car, before they were great humans. I don't know what it means.
So are you trying to create this feeling when you perform? I mean, from your fashion to the way you play, the music you play, it's kind of like I haven't been able to hear you live yet. I very much look forward to that someday. But are you trying to create like that atmosphere to kind of take people to that world?
No, the thing is, me personally, I don't do it as a museum thing. It was that time then, because we are always the same. We could have lived 100 years ago or something. We would be the same. Wouldn't be a difference. We were always the same thousands of years. But there are moments that are more fantastic and elated. And it comes and goes. And I would say if you can create where the music has the great timing, had the right feel, makes people happy and want to dance or feel like, I want to cry or remember or whatever it is. And if I can create that, that's a magic. So we don't know if that time was that magic, but they had the talent to like get it recorded on. The sounds of these records are very magic. And I would say that we are magic too when we dance and we feel things. So that is what I want to create. I'm very inspired by jazz because the improvisations, because the nearness to the audience, you like feel the audience in your improvisations and the blue notes, the syncopations and all this time and the optimism. But I'm also very inspired by rock music's energy because they have an enormous energy. So I take from every era. So when I watch rock concerts, how they like take the whole stage and how they like take the room. And every year the world changes, but we are always the same, we humans. But the world changes all the time. So there is always something that you can pick up. That's what I think.
I love that. So as someone that performs on a regular basis like this, and it seems like you're so connected with the energy of the audience and what you're trying to portray. And that might be the answer in itself of what I'm asking. It's like, how do you mentally prepare to put yourself in that place during a performance, before a performance, to really be connected with like who you are and to like give the audience the best experience possible, where like you can finish the concert and be really happy with how it went? How do you stay so open?
Jazz itself inspires me with the wildness and the improvisations and the chord progress. I like dissonances. And it really makes my life worth living. So it's the meaning of life. It's the tone language of jazz from all eras. I would say like 1940s, 50s, you hear this the chord progression, how the notes, all chord changes. And the lyrics of jazz is very important thing for me because I like more jazz lyrics than I like pop lyrics. Because jazz lyrics is mainly about you, and pop lyrics is mainly about me.
It's good.
That's a good way of saying it. Yeah.
So I would say that all of me, why not take all of me? So that turns me on to sing about love, but not love to myself, love to you. So when I am in PMJ, for example, so we sing pop songs. And we make them sound vintage, old style. And I sing Material Girl. Mm-hmm. And it's a very good melody and a high energy. And I'm very glad for that song. I don't connect with the lyrics, though. Okay, so there might be a truth in it, but this is not truth. I'm doing art. Art is magic. So, because the guy with cold hard cash is always Mr. Right. I would never compose something like that. Never in my whole life.
Madonna was a different experience in
but
general.
People like the truth in their songs, like All About the Bass. It's about losing weight, or I don't care if you want to have a tiny waist girl because I want to be the size I am. It's good. It's very supportive for people who has they don't want to go and not eat because they have to lose weight all the time. But the thing is, I'm only speaking for myself, and I didn't write the hit that sold billions and billions. So I'm only speaking for myself. I would never write a song about losing weight or being fat or what. It's not. I mean, if you said your weight to me or you, yeah, okay, yeah, that's it. Like, it's wonderful. I'm fine with it. Either.
So back to growing up a little bit. When did it become evident that first of all, it was clear that you loved music from as long as you can remember, and it felt a part of you as your religion, as you said. But when did it start to become this like, wow, I could like make a living doing this. This could be my career.
Here's a strange thing. I don't see it as a living. I see it as a lifestyle. So I just do it. It's the only thing I can do. I have no competence for any other.
Join the club here.
Yeah. I don't have any other. I can barely. No, I know how to cook, but I mean, I'm not as good as I could work in a restaurant. So, I mean, no, that's the only thing I can. I'm a very limited person. Which is a very good thing, because then, I have my trombone and my 30 other instruments, and that's it.
Yeah, very limited.
And my family.
Very limited, only 30 instruments.
Yeah, but we have been discussing this a lot, like when we rehearse, because I am stylish limited. I have the tone and the phrasing from 1920, 30, 40, pre-war. Which means that if we can create that kind of feel, then we will come higher than if we try to do something else. So we have been like working hard with style here. I love to do it. Style is everything. Style study.
So how do you study style?
I listen to the old, but I listen to how they created tone. You have to do something of your own. That's the thing. But we are all in this. We have a whole century of fantastic music styles, which I have dived into 3-4 of them. But we have an amount. So everyone in the audience can hear directly if we take something from the 60s or 50s. They cannot maybe just spot it out, but they know more than you think.
So with cultivating all of these influences as you have, how do you in turn be influenced by them and still create Gunhild, like create what is you? Like, how do you make it yours?
I'm never afraid of this problem, because it's always here and now. So let's say I have you two there in the audience. Okay, and that's it. I shall play for you, and I start to play, and then it will be given in itself, because the energy that we create, that will be something new. You always have to add something new of your own, and you shall always take something old from the masters to give them reverence, and you shall do something new, but most of all, you shall have a fantastic time together with me who play and the listener.
Yeah, so you're saying like anything that's created in the moment in that place is going to be new. It's going to be magic. It's going to be special. That's cool.
Yeah, because I mix, and there is not especially person like blues. We cannot say, oh, that is that person or that. But there are certain phrases. I take my trombone and show you what I mean.
Please.
Excellent.
Okay, I have a lot of lipstick here. Wait. To take that away.
Do you get lipstick on the mouthpiece? Is that
all the time? They are red like blood. Okay, so if I play like. A person who is into Tea Garden could hear that is that is from Tea Garden. Or Kidori. But on the other hand, so now I have you two there. I would play because you inspire me a lot. Yeah.
Wow.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh, wow.
I think this is the first time someone's played for us on a podcast. Is this the first time, Nick?
It's the first time someone's played a trombone, honestly. Even though it's a trombone podcast, we had a trombonist who plays banjo, and he played banjo on there. But you play banjo too.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Oh, yeah, I do. But the thing is, the latest year, I began with ukulele, and especially the smallest one, the soprano ukulele, have an enormous happiness power. So when you're
happiness power,
yeah, happiness power, yeah. So ukulele is not meant to be like, oh, I play with the symphony orchestra and now comes dang 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 with ukulele. It's not that. The ukulele is like, it's another thing. So every instrument has 10 different voices, but they have a meaning. For example, there are like Magdeburg accordions. They were played on markets. And as soon as you hear this sound, you will have this little sinful but market feeling. So if you say, okay, I take this now and I will have a atonal concert, you will not like Zlatan Ibrahimovic. You have to do the goal, score the goal. And you do that if you have the right instrument, the right tone, and the right setup.
What are the voices of the trombone? You said there's every instrument.
I tell you. I have the trombone here. So now we have a club with the lights are low and people are having a cocktail. Okay. So it's more. But let's say that we are okay. So as a musician, you can be invited to any gig. I mean, you never know. You can be invited to a Christmas market in Siberia. Okay, let's say that I was there, and it's 20 below zero and everything. Okay. I can tell from something, for example, I have been playing during the pandemic, I was playing on the street because there was cities in California, like Santa Cruz, that allowed street musicians. And that was great because San Francisco, you were fined with $1,000 instant. But now you play in the street. There are a lot of homeless people. So all right, there are a lot of homeless people. Let's make them happy. Let's make them, okay, we play for you.
Your vibrato is very interesting to me because you get such a classic vibrato, beautiful vibrato sound. And this is kind of a nerdy trombone question, but and for those that are just listening to the podcast, you're actually not doing slide vibrato, but you're getting this like fast, wide vibrato. It's really
only with the
cool.
lips.
Do you ever
And
use slide vibrato?
I try to. No, I never have slide vibrato. It might sometimes,
Mhm.
but I try to play out here.
I saw that. Yeah.
As much. Because it makes the horn longer. It will give it more horn. Okay. You hear the difference?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you
Maybe
just
you
have a
don't
little bit more room to move around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as the vibrato is.
Yeah, but to my ear, it sounded different. So it sounded more, magic. Yeah, I do vibrato with the lips all the time.
Did you have formal trombone teachers growing up?
No, I never had a teacher.
So no formal training. So it was mainly just playing music from a young age with your family?
Yeah, I played a lot. So I started to try out Arban. Maybe you say Arban or Arban.
Arban, yeah.
Arban, yeah. Well, so everything is because of my father. So I started with Arban. So my father listened and said, no, you will sound too schoolish. Stop. No more studies or anything, scales or anything. Just into jazz and improvise. So, okay. And I was 7. I said, oh, no schools. I'm fine with that.
That makes so much sense because I mean, just watching you play, you're such a just from watching it seems like you're so profoundly natural when you play. It's like the fact that you can just pick up 8 different instruments in a concert and be able to just play it, and you're not just kind of like playing. You're not just like on stage like, oh look, I can play all these instruments. You're literally playing them all at a very high level.
Oh, thank you.
So, I mean, that's anyone that watches that can see that. And so that it shows me that you don't have any like of this clutter in your head of like all these rules that you've had from like your Arban book or, from studying for a very long time.
Yeah. So through the life, I have been seen that there are a lot of rules, how you shall stand, and how you shall keep the instrument, how you shall pack the instrument. So compared to that, I am a total savage because I mean, sometimes I come with the cornet in my purse, like in my handbag, like it's full of like I just pick it up and play. So so compared to that, there are a lot of rules. It's the only thing I can say, and I have been taught to not follow any of them.
Do you teach your kids the same way?
No.
Uh-oh.
The thing is, they cannot copy my fate because it was a fantastic thing to do back then. Because everyone who played, if they were in my age, you went to teacher and that was a special. And over the whole world, they have the same. So if you were in Sweden or if you were in Canada or America, it would be the same, like Arban, the same scale studies, like so everything was. So to do that, the whole thing with me, so I was different, and that was everything is about. But I cannot say to you, okay, you should be different, do like me. You have to be different in a way you find out yourself. But still, what I teach my kids is that jazz is one American invention. and we shall study jazz, like everything of it. You shall listen to jazz because it's the biggest invention of the 20th century. That is no doubt about that. My kids and all their friends, because they bring in all their friends, because it happens a lot. We play and we have a lot of fun. So it has been like, I have been not popular, but they have been like coming and going. So this is what I like kind of started a school. What I was successful with was to make everyone listen to jazz and everyone to feel like this whole thing in their heart, like that you are on another planet when you go into the music, because this is how I feel, like I'm in a bubble, and then when I'm in there, like I excite up myself so much that I'm in it.
Whoa, yeah.
But then I haven't taught them anything about technique. I say to everyone, you have to figure it out yourself.
Wow.
You must figure it out yourself. So all this where to play the notes, I figured it out myself, which means that music theory, though, I have studied like it shall be, because that is important. You must know the music theory. That is very important.
Another trombone nerd question. What kind of trombone are you playing?
I play a King Legend 2B.
Oh, I have one of those. Very nice. What year is it from? Do you know? It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a great trombone. So it's new to me. For 1.5 years now, I had Bach.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I had Schmelzer. And before that, I had Jupiter. I had Jupiter most of the time in my life. So I'm superstitious, and an instrument that brings luck. Like I go in on stage and everyone is standing up and screaming. Okay, I will never abandon that instrument. That will be my hero. So is it with my bagpipe that I have now. It's barely not kept together. It's in a very bad shape and it's very old and the wood is cracking and so. But it brought me all the way. Everyone was screaming and wow. When I take a tone, everyone wow like this, because it has such a shrill screaming sound. I will never abandon that instrument. So it's very new to me. I changed instrument to King.
God, I can't imagine when you're traveling, how much of a pain is it to try to travel with all these instruments? Just like the logistics of like getting on an airplane and you needing so many different instruments for your show. I mean, I imagine that can be a lot of work sometimes.
I have the trombone. It's a lot. I have 3 trumpets because I play 3 trumpets at the same time. I have a great trumpet now. It's not the one I had for years and years and years, because that trumpet I had earlier was an Amati from a Czechian piracy copy from 1960. It was in the dictatures, they did. They just copied and did new, but it was a copy of a king from the 30s. So it had a great magic tone. And this was my instrument for all my life till last year, when it wasn't possible to repair it anymore. So I changed to a Bach Stradivarius, which doesn't have this magic, like this sound from another planet. It's very earthly, but it nails every note. So I want to take this high note, boom. It just takes it. It's like the greatest horn I've ever had when it comes to technique and embouchure. This trombone, sorry, I'm talking the day away, but this trombone
it's great.
has a great tone, nails, notes, technique, but trombone also have a humoristic voice, and I'm not sure yet if this is a humor, like like a drunk happy person going home, like screaming or something. That's
trombone players so well.
yeah. Exactly.
Man, I love how you talk about that. It like having the magic, Because I think we've all experienced that. You pick up an instrument and you're trying it, and we're always trying to find the perfect instrument for us, but sometimes it's one of those things that you can't even describe, right? You just know it. You just feel it. Just feels right, or you see the look in people's faces when you play it for them.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a saying I used to say. It's like a sound from another planet. And I would say that's a little astrology in that. Like in olden days, you thought that here was Earth and there was Mars. And on Mars lived other people. There lived soldiers, and there was always war and so. And when Mars was shining on Earth in special constellations, it infected us with like influenza, like we could get sick and so. So I think this thinking I have taken from astrology, that it's a sound from another planet. But the thing is, when I play, when I take up a horn, and the inspiration, that is everything. Technique, you just have to have it. That's not a question, not at all. You have to be over technical, but it's not about technique at all. It's about feeling and inspiration. When you have the inspiration, the listener will hear it the second you begin to play. It's like, wow, there it is. Because music is older than the human being. It's like from Neanderthals.
But do you ever have times where, kind of going back to an earlier question, because you're saying that inspiration is the most important thing in a performance. So do you ever have the times when, okay, I have a concert tonight and I'm just not feeling very inspired, but you have to get yourself there if you want it to be a good concert? Are there things that within yourself that you can do to kind of snap yourself out of it and get to that place you want to be inspired?
No, that's a part of the job of being a musician. You have to be inspired nonstop. So I'm always composing or writing lyrics or something. I'm always in the mood. It's like being an alcoholic. There must always be a little in the bottle. The bottle is never allowed to be empty.
I like that. So just, it's part of your identity. You just stay there.
You have to be inspired. That's if I say I was born to be a musician, okay, so it's not to like play this note or this note, is to deliver the notes that are inspired. So I try to be inspired all day long.
Man, that's great.
No, it's just something.
It's just you. It's just you.
Just a way. It has to be like that.
I had a curiosity. I mean, just like, I know this is hard to do. It's like asking like what someone's favorite food is or something like that. But if you could pick one favorite recording for someone to listen to, what would it be?
Either something with Fats Waller or Django Reinhardt. So I would say something with Fats Waller.
What's your favorite Fats Waller album?
It could be Louisiana Fairy Tale, or I don't remember the name of the album because it was only 78 records like at that time. So it's only singles, but
okay.
Misbehaving.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow. Okay.
All right. Okay. That was a good one. That was actually the first thing I was going to ask. So that's perfect. We always ask a few like just quick questions at the end of the interview. So if you wrote down, first was what recording you think everyone should hear. That's a really cool dress, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Very
It
cool.
looks like this.
It's kind of like a peacock almost.
It is.
That sort of.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you kill a peacock to make that dress?
No. Everything. I always have furs, and so it's always fake furs, fake pearls, and so.
The Peacock Huntress.
Yeah.
That'd be a good album cover. And it's like you're shooting the trombone like a bow and arrow, but you're like shooting a peacock. Okay. Describe a perfect day for you.
Perfect day. It's like today. Well, I don't price a day before it's over. Like yesterday. I woke up in the bus and I had breakfast, and the breakfast is like something typical tour food, like hamburger or something that's perfect. No, I mean, not that, but something like this. Then I go and play, and I compose, and I play ukulele, and I sing, and then it's sound check at 4. And then I no.
Sorry, my dog.
I talk to my family a lot if I'm on the road. Yeah. Then it's soundcheck, dinner, show, and then I sit and hang with my friends. That's a perfect day.
So it sounds like you get to have a lot of perfect
Pretty
days.
great.
Yeah, I would say I'm very glad for everything. I'm very glad. I'm very glad for everything I had. And during the pandemic, we were not allowed to leave the house. So I started a band with the people in my house. And as I live in an area where people come from another place on earth, like they come from India and, a lot of places they have never heard jazz. They didn't know it existed. On the other hand, they hadn't heard rock and roll or anything like that was older than 5 years. So we started from zero. I had a lot of instruments at home, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I say, you play banjo, you washboard, you tuba, you play clarinet, you play, and then we begin with Tin Roof Blues. So that's what we did.
So you live in California
I live in
now?
California. Yeah,
Oh man. So how long have you lived in the United
3
States?
years. The reason was
Cool.
I had a tour, and I'm touring with PMJ, and I had my own. So I mix my own tour with PMJ. And it's very hard to get work permission. So this work permission is I cannot get back and forward. So now I do this. I tour America and I'm out. I also go back like a couple of times a year. I go back to Europe and tour. But now I'm touring America and I get to see, and I'm in North America, so like Canada and so. I get to see this beautiful country. And I've seen a lot, and it has been so beautiful. It's a blessing.
What's surprised you the most about America or Americans since moving here?
The climate. America is. I'm not sure I'm right, but this is how it feels. America is much bigger than Europe. The distances between cities are much bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So in Europe, from every big famous city, you travel like 3 hours, but here is 9 hours drive. And the climate was a big difference. The sun in California, the sun is hot, burning hot, and the wind is cold. It's colder wind here because in Europe we have the Gulf Stream. But the sun is more like burning, maybe because it's more south. Europe is a little like it's more south, so it's different climate. That's it. A billion words in one sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Got a little more suntans and everything. Yeah. There's you can find much worse places to live than California for sure.
I was traveling because the bus broke in Ohio. So we were on a road and it was very beautiful because I saw these endless fields of acres.
Mm-hmm.
And the moon was shining down. And so it was very beautiful.
How would you define success?
That you are able to live your dream without having too many regrets of all the sacrifices.
That's a good way of putting it.
Do you feel like you had to make sacrifices?
No, because I don't feel them like sacrifices. That is a part of, because I see music as a religion. I give up everything for music. I didn't give up the idea of family because I really want to have a family. I want kids and I want to be married and so. So I am that, but I have a very understanding husband then. So, and he takes care of the kids and the house and the home and so. And I'm playing and I'm out. And I would say, follow your dream. That's a success.
That seems like a perfect balance of personality because you're this like, you're just bursting of creativity and improvisation in everything you do in your life and how you live all the time. And you're married to an engineer who's an engineer's brain is, structure and precision. And that seems like a good balance, an artist and an engineer.
Yeah, but I have noticed with engineers that they have the same thing as we have with music. I am married to music and my husband. he is married to his like electronics. I don't even know what it is. Almost at first. So he will not have one boring second without me, because he has all his computers and fixing all over the world and this network, and I don't know. He's like so into his engineering things.
We need him to like help us set up our audio next time. Okay, last question from me. What advice would you give to your 18-year-old self?
My 18-year-old son. I love you with all my heart. No.
Aww. That's good.
No, it's just don't worry, be happy. I
Good.
think that's
I think there's a lot of 18-year-olds that could hear that.
When you're 18, you think like you have no idea. when you are you have no idea. So when you're double age 36, or I'm not good at math, but 36. Now I have 38. I don't know. Then you know double more, and everything is so much more relaxed.
Well, when you're 18, like everything's so real. Like when you get your heart broken for the first time, it feels like the world's ending, you know, because it's like the first time you've felt these intense feelings, and everything is just so real, you know. It's tough. But then we just get numb and build our layers.
Yeah, but actually, I don't like that we get used to it.
I agree.
I don't like it. So I try to never get used to anything because I believe in youth, and so not that I'm aging all the time, but I mean I believe in young at heart. And music connects to youth, the youth in me, which means that and I know with you two guys there, you remain the same all your life because you love the same values all the time. Am I not right? Like you listen to the same music, and
like your core is still there. I mean, you grow and you learn new things, but like who you are from that person is still there. I like that.
If someone was to set out and learn, let's say 1920s, late 1920s jazz, what would be the first tune that you would suggest to learn?
Depending on what experience that person has before, because if it is a tabula rasa, like a person who never heard anything before and is very open, so I go to Louis Armstrong Hot 5 and Jelly Roll. My kids, I'm talking about the kids in my house, when they heard like Jelly Roll, it speaks to them immediately. So like it's something that speaks to, I would say Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll is the thing. Jelly Roll Morton. Short answer, Jelly Roll Morton.
All right.
I love it. Cool. Well, I am, for one, very inspired, and I'm very excited to go to my rehearsal tonight and just think about making sounds from outer space and connecting and enjoying everything I'm doing.
I have a question. What are you going to rehearse?
Yes.
I must know.
Tonight I'm playing, there's this group called the River City Brass Band that I play in. And so we actually do a lot of like, you know, Tommy Dorsey and a lot of big band jazz, but it's like an English style brass band, but we do a lot of like popular stuff. So that's one of the groups. And then I'll play the Pittsburgh Opera like the next night. So it's the complete opposite. We're doing magic flute.
Oh,
so just very
you have
different.
it in the title, the magic flute.
Yes,
Music from another planet. Music from another planet.
There you go.
Yeah, but you know, I would say what do you play, Nick?
Bass trombone. Is that what I mean tonight? Yeah, I play opera and ballet mainly.
Oh,
in New York City.
New York. Yeah. So tonight I'm at the Metropolitan Opera playing Turandot.
We've rendered her speechless.
Yeah, the thing is, that reminded me of my youth because every week I went to the opera to see the Italian masters. Yes, because they built an opera house in Gothenburg, and I went there every week. So that is too. You collapse when you hear this music. Like, it's so full of passion.
No, totally.
And you,
It's beautiful.
so I would say you play at the opera, you have everything already. Everything I said to you tonight was totally meaningless because you know it all. You know it all.
Oh no, it's wonderful to hear.
That's great.
And we're sharing it with everyone listening. So this is all wonderful. Very cool. You're actually, believe it or not, you're the second, if I'm correct, you're the second Swedish trombonist we've had on our podcast.
Oh, who was the first?
Lars Carlin. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do you know that?
No,
Do you know
what
him?
is he? Classical or jazz?
Classical.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of good trombone players in that country, huh?
Yeah, but I would say generally, and when you speak in general, you're always wrong. But the thing is, I speak in general. Trombone players, they are so friendly. It's like if you want to make friends, be trombone player.
We're the best.
I agree.
Let's be honest. We're the best. It's the nature of the instrument too, I think.
It's a very old instrument.
Yeah.
It's like hundreds of years old without change how it looks.
Yeah, it's very simple design. In a
We
lot
are
of ways.
simple. That's the thing.
Mhm.
Simple.
Well, I wish you a wonderful performance tonight. I wish I could hear it, but I look forward. Hopefully, you'll come through Pittsburgh again at some
I
point.
come to Pennsylvania in December.
Oh, cool.
And I come to New York in December. So please come and meet me there so I can hug you.
That'd be great.
Where are you playing?
That would be
You
amazing.
know where you're
I
playing?
play at Birdland in jazz club at December 15 and 16. No, 16 and 17. And my family is coming over from Sweden. So you will meet them there. And then next day we go to Pennsylvania. The 19th we go to Pennsylvania and play in Sellersville. So I don't know how far that is from Pittsburgh. But
And if people want to find out more information about you, your website, gunhildcarling.net.
Exactly.
And subscribe to your YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram. You're all over the place. So you can find all the information there. But thank you so much for hanging out with us. It was super fun.
You are great. And you are the best looking trombone players in whole America.
Oh, wow.
You know how to charm. Man. Man.
Hey,
I accept it. I accept
I'm gonna
all
hear you.
compliments.
I'm gonna come to the Metropolitan and listen to you. And I'm gonna come to your
Pittsburgh
Okay,
Opera.
I'll be there. I'll be there to see you.
Get your ticket.
And I'm going to look up your dates at Birdland. I'm going to look this up.
Okay.
That Gunhild's a trip, huh?
That was an experience. That was super fun. It wasn't our normal format for an interview where we talked about her past a little bit, but what she was saying was so interesting. I kind of just enjoyed following where it led us.
Yeah, I mean, I found it really interesting, especially, I mean, she talked about that she had never had formal training. And when we started, well, you asked her about her vibrato and that, she just, for her, figured out that like in the outer positions, she could get a little bit more of the flavor that she wanted on those slide vibrato, or sorry, lip vibrato, not slide vibrato. I think that in some ways that could only come from not being formally trained. Because I think early on someone would snuff that out, be like, no, you can't play that note there. And it's just like that. So that's kind of the beauty of it.
Yeah, it's totally free to experiment and discover things. And that's why people that don't have like the restrictions of certain things, like obviously there's benefits to formal training clearly, but you get so much flexibility of creativity. And that applies to everything, to just discover things. And man, it's like a perfect social experiment of you drop this girl into this amazing musical family with his father that's like religion of music, basically, and plays by ear, falls in love with music, and just see what happens. And man, she can play anything. It's really, if you guys haven't heard some of her videos, go check it out. It's ridiculous how she just not only picks up any instrument. It's like I was saying on the podcast, it's not this novelty act of like, oh, look, I can do all these different instruments, which, I mean, it kind of is. I mean, it's vaudeville, whatever, but she literally can play the crap out of everything she picks up right away without warming up. Like, I don't even know how she warms up for all these things.
I think she maybe doesn't really.
She probably doesn't think about it. Just connects with the right energy.
Exactly. Yeah. It was just a lot of fun. And it was definitely different I think for both of us, because neither of us knew her. So I think that's going to obviously happen again in the future, because we don't know everybody. We'd like to know everybody. But Yeah, I mean, we're very thankful that she was able to take time out of her schedule. She, like, you'll hear or you heard in the interview that she had just got off a bus, sleeping on a bus overnight, and took time to talk to.
Seems she enjoys it.
Yeah, that's not,
Her imaginary perfect day starts with waking up on a bus. I was like, really?
exactly not my idea of one, but I'm so happy that she gets to live her perfect days. That's great.
I don't know, Nick. I'm starting to get kind of confident now that this first cold email worked out. Now my brain is just open to all the possibilities of people we can talk to.
You know who plays the trombone? So I've heard. Francis Ford Coppola.
Did you make that up?
I'm not making that up.
Is that true, really?
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
In a weird way, you can get famous people to talk to you if you're like, hey, we're just gonna talk about the trombone, and like if it's something they're super into and they have the time, like I could foresee people being interested. So that guy in Stranger Things played trombone in high school. There's that famous wrestler. Like if you guys have ideas of people you want us to reach out to, or if any of you have personal connections, like let us know. I mean, we're down to talk trombone with anyone. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd be curious if someone knows of like someone super famous who played the trombone in high school or college or whatever, just because I think that'd be an interesting jumping off point. I mean, obviously we're a trombone podcast, but we can branch off in anything, as you've heard in previous podcast episodes.
We could get Commander Riker, because I know he's on I don't know his actual name because I'm not a Star Trek nerd, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've never seen an episode of Star Trek. Sorry.
Really?
Never seen it. I've seen some movies.
I could see you digging it. Oh wow, you just offended Nikki Abisi. Well, he's on that Cameo app, where you can like pay people for like a minute of their time. So like, hey, can we pay you for an hour of your time and you be on our podcast?
Ooh, that'd be like a top tier Patreon perk.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. All of our celebrity interviews. Yeah. Behind the wall. But yeah, it was super fun. She's got a beautiful mind, really. And I just loved her. It kind of inspired me to go to rehearsal and just think about everything the right way and just think about the energy you want to have and what the joy and the magic you're trying to share. And the whole point, like she's like, yeah, technique's important, but really, especially as a jazz musician, you got to be trying to capture that feeling, that thing that connects. That's the most important thing, and everything else, falls from there.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of reinforced what I think about technique, and what drives me nuts when people say, oh, I need to work on my technique. And it's like, technique is not an end goal. Getting better technique to say something that you want to say, sure. But like having it be like, oh, I just need my technique better. Okay, for what? Are you trying to work on Bluebells of Scotland? Okay, yeah, I get it. Okay, work on your triple tonguing and work on your interval control, whatever.
I need to double tongue at 279. So yeah, sorry, I've been battling a cold past couple weeks, so sorry, a little late for this recent podcast, but we're excited about guests coming up. Cleveland just gave me a cold, so I blame Ohio. We just blame Ohio on everything.
Yeah,
it was a good trip though. I got to hear Cleveland Orchestra's first concert in a year and a half, 2 years. Beautiful, beautiful concert. Visiting one of my best friends, who's new provost there at Cleveland Institute, Sky Harrison, and beautiful concert. Got to see Shakar, who we definitely want to talk to on the podcast soon, and play a little golf with Randy Hawes and Lee Rogers. Randy's picking up golf. He's got a sweet little shot. Real sensitive golfer, as you'd imagine.
That tracks, man. I think like playing. I think we golf our personalities too.
Ooh, that was deep from Nick Schwartz. I like
just fill a tub with that idea and soak in it.
So what's your golf personality?
Big, boisterous, and a little bit of a slice. I slice it.
But you do it on purpose, right? If you enjoyed the podcast, please consider being a Patreon.
Patron.
Being a Patreon on patreon.com. On patreon.com/trombone retreat, or leave us a rating and review on iTunes. If you want to leave a question or topic you'd like us to discuss, we may answer it on the podcast. Follow us at Trombone Retreat on all the social medias, and our website, tromboneretreat.com, where you can also join our mailing list or send us an email. On Instagram, follow Nick at basstrombone444 and myself at js.vera. And as always,
you have a bad day at school, Hop in your 1992 Toyota Corolla, drive down to the Blockbuster, and rent some Yoshi's Island for Super Nintendo. And retreat yourself.
And retreat yourself. You know what we should do for this is like that improv exercise where one person says a sentence. It's like a story that's created. One person says a sentence, and then the other person has to create the next sentence. Like, I went to the store, and then you're like, to buy some bananas. And then it could be like something like that. That could be kind of fun.
Ooh. We should practice beforehand.
Collaborative. Practice right now. When the times they get hard.
Sorry.
That sounded like dum bum bum bum. That was like the beginning of the Star Spangled Banner. That was amazing.
I'm very patriotic. Sorry, say it again.
When the times they get hard.
Hop in your mom's minivan.
Roll up to soccer practice.
And eat some orange slices.
And retreat yourself.